everybody. My name is Jack from Cultaholic, joined by, thank you for joining me at quite short notice, to Fraser.
Thank you, Jack. It's good to be here.
And to the most married man in the world, Tom Campbell.
Thanks very much. It's good to be here. Did I mention I got married recently?
You got married recently?
Look at that.
Congratulations.
Look at that. Stay away, you. I'm a married man now.
It's
Be gone, vile wenches.
Except
my wife. She's my favourite wench. Love you.
It's a slightly changed up cast for this one.
Yeah.
Ross is away, Andrew's away, so we've got Fraser and Tom in. Thank you for preparing what I think we can all agree were quite difficult pitches to do this time.
It's probably the toughest one I've been on.
Yeah,
I think WWE with these smaller cards. How do you guys do it? 9 pitches,
especially when a lot of Triple H's, not all the time, but a lot of his booking follows the pattern of this is the most likely thing that's going to happen, so why not just do it?
Nothing's going to happen.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but
nothing crazy happens to WrestleMania.
It's hard to go to find the bits to exploit in Triple H's booking for these pitches, but hopefully we've all done it. If you don't know the concept of this video, we all go round in a circle 3 times, Fraser, then Tom, then myself. 3 times we're left with 9 wonderful pitches. But remember that most golden of all the rules, it's not what we think.
It's what we want to happen.
It's not what we think's going to happen. It's what we want to happen.
Did I do it right this time?
Nearly. So close. So close.
Sorry, everybody. I've spoilt the holiday.
Don't worry, it's okay. We'll begin with Fraser Porter.
Right, we're going to kick things off with the women's War Games match. The match kicks off and is a standard affair for the most part. Rhea Ripley's the first person into the match and is facing off against Raquel Rodriguez. They battle it out for a little bit, with the match being fairly evenly matched, right, those two. The faces obviously have the advantage, so Naomi joins in next and helps Rhea before Nia Jax evens up the odds. Nia brings with her a couple of steel chairs and starts taking out Naomi before squaring up to Rhea herself. We get a little bit of the two hosses fighting out there. They slug it out for a little while until the next entrant joins, and it's Io Sky, who climbs up to the top of the cage and does a jump and a leap into basically everyone that's in the ring, taking out most of the people.
She loves doing that.
She does like doing that, exactly. This time without a bin over her, but just jumps in. With almost all of the women lying down from Io's big leap from the cage, only Io, Nia, and Rhea are left standing. Io and Rhea, that's very hard to say. Io and Rhea team up to batter Nia, and she's taken down with a riptide following a moonsault from the corner. But up next is Tiffany Stratton, who comes running down, briefcase in hand.
Oh my.
Gets in the ring, smacks Io and Rhea with the briefcase and hands it to the referee. She gets into the corner, she hits a prettiest moonsault ever on a pro Nia and becomes the new women's champion.
But is the match still going on?
The match is still going on. Yes. How will they coexist? The answer's not very well. This causes a breakdown between the team of heels. Nia and Tiffany continue to brawl amongst themselves throughout the match instead of actually working together. At one point, though, Dom tries to get into the match. He climbs to the top of the cage and realizes once he gets there that he's afraid of heights. And then he falls off through a table that's in the ring now.
Bye!
This allows Rhea to hit a riptide on Dom, finally get that moment, get a visual pinfall on him. Team faces win with Rhea, Bianca, and Bayley all team up to hit their respective finishers on Liv and Dom and Raquel, as Dom and Raquel hopelessly watch along. And Tiffany, she doesn't care because she's celebrating her win with the title as Nia is crying in the corner.
That's quite a funny bit as well, Tiffany just celebrating.
She doesn't care.
Lost.
Yeah, she's running up the ramp with her belt in hand.
It's a yes from me straight away, Fraser.
Get in.
I really like it, and it differs from what I think might happen in real life because I'm worried that, you know how now since the baby faces have won the numbers advantage in the women's match, that makes me think that the heels will win. Especially because if I had to predict right now, it seems like the men's babyface team are going to win. And I feel like they won't have two.
Maybe.
Maybe. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe not in the pitches necessarily.
No.
But no, I like it. I like what you've done with... I feel like that's one of those moments where if Tiffany wins and then the match continues, I feel like that's one of those moments where like 5 years from now, people on Twitter will be like, lol, remember when, you know...
That's one of those unscripted moments in WWE.
Unscripted?
yeah, big show thing.
Or people will be like... There'll be like 16-year-olds in 5 years' time who'll be saying stuff like, WWE was cooking back then. When Tiffany Stratton... Yeah. It's a yes from me.
Whilst I do feel like the Rhea and Dom Final Showdown should have its own spotlight.
It should have a match.
It should have its own thing. So I think incorporating those two kind of burns two things at once.
That's true. That's
True.
I still like the setup of it, and it's different to how I would have done it. So it's a yes from me as well.
Jason, starting off strong.
He's done it.
Yeah.
He's bloody
I was
done it.
nervous for this one.
It's a pressure cooker environment.
It is, yeah.
Sometimes I feel like Ross tries to encourage Andrew to be more merciless, but it's just hard. He can't do it.
So Andrew not got a reputation on this show.
Sometimes Andrew will
he does, right? Yeah.
Especially when it's Ross, sometimes Andrew will make me go first if he doesn't like it. He go, you go.
You go.
And then Ross tries to bring out the honesty and just give me a no, Andrew. But I feel like he goes about it the wrong way by getting more aggressive, and that makes Andrew go more no,
it was a yes. You get that yes.
And then Ross is like, strike me down. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And one which never fails to amuse. I just sit and watch. It's great.
Yeah, you get a front row seat.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's what we want to happen.
It is, and that
It is what we want to happen.
Yeah.
We said that at the start.
Yeah.
Tom Campbell.
So, LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura are having themselves a bit of a match on Saturday. And I think there's an opportunity here to do some long-term storytelling that might be sneaking in here. So it's LA Knight and Shinsuke for the US title. We see earlier in the night, Pro Wrestling Noah stars are here at Survivor Series because we've got this working relationship with Noah, either in the front row or just in the bleachers with the tag Noah Wrestlers. I'd quite like that, to be honest with you. There they are. Yeah. What's up, boys? He says Shinsuke Nakamura. What's up, boys?
Yes.
During the match, LA Knight looks set to beat Shinsuke, but the ref gets knocked down by shenanigans. In doing so, LA Knight continues regardless on Shinsuke Nakamura, but gets jumped by Ulka Sasaki, who is Shinsuke Nakamura's opponent for Pro Wrestling Noah. He gets wiped out with a big old kick. The ref comes to as Nakamura lands a Kinshasa on LA Knight and wins the United States title.
Yes.
What's gone on? Thanks, boys in the bleachers. Therefore, the match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Ulka Sasaki now becomes for the WWE United States title.
I was going to say, why has he helped his rival?
That's why.
That's why.
And Sasaki makes it clear in videos on Noah's socials where he says, like, hey, look, I did that because I want to now challenge for the WWE United States title. I want to win a WWE title in Pro Wrestling Noah. You know, this guy used to MMA, he's done UFC, now he wants to be cream of the crop in WWE. So that leads to their match at Pro Wrestling Noah's New Year show. Shinsuke wins, ultimately, that one. Okay. But post-match, he's posing for the massive photographers at ringside because it's a big international event. One photographer gets on the apron and blasts a fireball in Shinsuke's face via his camera. Turns out, underneath the mask and the beard, disguised as a photographer, is not Harvey Whippleman, but it's L.A. Knight. This leads to L.A. Knight and Shinsuke having a rematch back in the States. You could have L.A. Knight win the title back there, or you could have Shinsuke continue to go on a tear, maybe forming a little coalition of Pro Wrestling Noah-flavored people on the way. But that is a story to tell for another time.
That's nice. I like that.
It gives some meaning to what feels like a match that's going to get lost in the shuffle.
That's the main reason I like it, especially because it also brings in these elements of. I think it would help further distance and make distinct the Triple H regime. Now he's like welcoming in this other promotion into one of his divisions. You know, it's a mid-card title, but that's okay. You don't want them like overshadowing the big storylines or anything, but it gives this its own unique flavor. I like that. And I love the return of the Japanese camera trope as well. And LA Knight has previous because he's, I believe, disguised himself before.
He has.
Which is one of those ones where he just took his cap off and everyone went, oh! Because
wait a dang minute.
If he manages to wear something that disguises his big muscles, he just could be an ordinary man.
Could be,
So I like that a lot as well. And sometimes he's a bit of a goofy guy, LA Knight. He loves a bit of fun. I think
he was in NXT 2.0.
He was, and I think the fake beard would be right up his street. I think he'd love to do that. So I've got no issues at all. And sorry, the other point was that Nakamura often gets stuck in this loop of like returning, losing, going away for a while, coming back, and now it's new dangerous Nakamura. Oh, he's lost again, but you've crucially had him not lose, and I like that.
Exactly the point that I think is why I like it, because LA Knight could move up that card again. He's had a nice run with the US title. I would like to see him keep it a little bit longer, but realistically, Shinsuke needs it more, and you've done it a way that I'm not disappointed that LA Knight has lost the belt because I'm like, and now I'm interested in going to watch that Noah show and see what happens with the title.
There it is.
It's a good roundabout way to do it. I think eventually we'd get that belt back on LA Knight.
Yeah.
But it's a nice way to give Nakamura something, so his return isn't pointless. So it's a win for me.
It's a yes from me as well.
Hey, double yeses.
You've got 2 yeses.
Had lots of yeses lately. Have I mentioned I'm married?
Hey!
Go on.
The pressure's on now. The pressure's on for me to carry on the yes train. So I've gone to the men's War Games match.
Okay.
It's the final stages of the men's War Games match. Here's a few things that have happened so far, just a sprinkling. Jacob Fatu has comfortably been made to look the strongest person in the whole match, only being contained when several members of the other team have to gang up on him at various times. We get a lovely... Got a bit Scottish for some reason. A lovely wee heartwarming moment.
Lovely wee heartwarming moment.
Between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, with Roman saving Sami from being put through a table earlier in the match, and Sami returning the favour later on, like a wonderful buddy cop movie. And they both kind of go... Or they do like some sort of... Tama Tonga gets some sort of moment. I just feel like he deserves it. The bloodline is mainly about Solo and Jacob, but Tama seems to take a lot of bumps and get beaten up a lot, but the crowd do like him, so I think he deserves...
Forget about Tonga.
No, he can... He's there as well.
He's there.
He can, like, cheer when Tama Tonga jumps off the side of the cage. That's my bro.
That's my bro.
Yeah. So now it's the final stage of the match. Everyone's been taken out. There's heaps of people all around the 2 rings. In the left-hand ring, we have Jacob Fatu starting to stand up from under a pile of chairs. You know, that where they all sort of throw chairs on him. That's going to keep him down, but he's emerging like some sort of horror movie villain. In the right-hand ring, we have the 2 remaining standing members of the good guy team, Roman Reigns and CM Punk. These 2 unlikely allies look at each other, give a little, you know how Roman excels at the cool little fist bump?
No look.
Yeah, there you go. They give a cool little fist bump before advancing towards Jacob's side of the cage. He's a monster, but they should be able to take him down if they work together. Then all of a sudden, a mysterious masked man gets out from under the ring and sneaks up behind the baby faces, and in a very familiar sort of image, gets the steel chair, and as Roman nears the rope, he bloody knows.
Oh, here we go.
Whacking Roman in the back. It's a familiar image, one that becomes even more familiar when he unmasks to reveal Seth Rollins.
No.
There's no laughing, no dancing. He's dead serious. Punk sees Roman topple next to him and slowly turns. When he sees Seth, the pair hate each other, so they start brawling immediately, fighting over the chair, splitting to the outside. Adam Pearce comes out with a team of officials, and they raise the cage slightly so they can get Seth out of there because he's not part of this match. They leave Punk, but they're like, we need Seth out of there. As Seth is escorted up the ramp, Punk looks after him. Then back at the match he's supposed to be in, Jacob Fatu is in the process now of battering a downed Roman Reigns. Punk thinks about it and then thinks, clambers beneath the cage just as it lowers back to the floor, and he dives onto the ramp, onto the crowd of security, and him and Rollins keep on brawling. We see Roman briefly shove Jacob away and collapse over the middle rope, looking out at the entranceway. And he looks through the cage, sees his teammate brawling with Seth, and he's not happy about it at all. You see him think, this guy is not even my friend, and he's walked out on the team. That's what he's conveying with his face. Yeah. Almost like the old tribal chief, maybe. It's only a moment's respite for Roman after all, as Jacob fully presses the advantage and lands the big moonsault. He goes to pin Roman and win the match 1-2. Solo pulls him away. I'm the tribal chief, and I should be able to get the pinfall myself. He scoops Roman up. Samoan spike. Roman is out. Solo stands over Roman, and Jacob shoves him onto his bottom, and Solo is stunned as Jacob makes the cover once again and wins the match. It's an awkward celebration, and that'll carry on in the future.
I have to say, I don't like it.
Okay.
I love it.
He got you there! Oh, God!
Joel loved that behind the camera. He's going, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Fraser,
Thank you, guys.
Fraser,
Thank you.
Fraser.
Thank you.
No, it's about me. You stole my moment.
We'll
What?
carry Fraser out.
You're the real tribal chief.
What a pitch. What a pitch. Getting the Seth Rollins involved there, the moment when he holds that chair up, I can see it. I can see the drama. I can feel the drama.
I want him to try and do it in exactly the same
I can picture
pace
sitting
and
watching it
everything.
and the whole room going silent.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know, you get in. I can see you doing a little jump and a kick at your happiness.
Me?
At Seth. Yeah.
Do I do that?
You've done that a few times.
Okay.
I can see this pitch happening. I can fully see it happening. It's what I want to happen as well,
Okay.
kind of. I've got something. I'm cooking.
Okay.
Similar but different.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's a yes from me.
Thank you.
It's a yes from me as well. I like it. I think there's so much room for shenanigans in that men's War Games main event. And Seth Rollins coming back and sort of dropping the fun time act and being serious. Because, and again,
I'm
the
a bit
best.
sick of it, the fun time.
Yeah,
a little
the fun
bit.
time Seth.
But I mean, I'm in the minority. The live crowds love it still. But I'm like, I like serious Seth.
But the best heels have legitimate beef, and he's like very much, and Seth's very much like, whoa, he's why are we rallying behind this guy when he held us all under his thumb for so many years?
Do
why
we not remember?
Why
It's
are we
just-
lifting him up again? So Seth is absolutely bang to rights with that.
And I love, again, in Drew McIntyre sort of way, I love when the heels have they're not good guys, but they've got a point of view you can see. And I think that would, I've sort of included this thing with Punk as well, because that does seem like the direction they're going in. And that's a bit unresolved.
Yeah.
But I really want Seth and Roman. It's just that Roman has many enemies at the moment. But no, thank you very much.
No, I like that.
Very well done.
Double yeses all round. Come on, Fraser.
Right,
Come on, Fraser.
Joel, I need this photo up. Early in the night, we cut backstage to see Kathy Kelly standing with Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. She says Braun Breaker is going to be a three-way for the Intercontinental Championship tonight at Survivor Series between you, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. But before she can finish asking her question, Braun cuts her off. And he's dressed like that.
Hey!
So, it's Braun Breaker.
Like Triple H booking. I saw it
Exactly.
coming, but I'm not upset.
He says, they say that all men are created equal. But you look at me and you look at Sheamus and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beat me. Then you add Ludwig Kaiser to the mix. Your chances of winning drastic go down. See, the three-way tonight at Survivor Series, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Ludwig Kaiser knows he can't beat me and he isn't even going to try. So Sheamus, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning tonight at Survivor Series. But you take my 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one and then add 66 2/3% chance, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning tonight at Survivor Series. See, Sheamus, the numbers don't lie and they spell disaster for you at Survivor Series.
Sacrifice.
Yes.
He then is later accompanied to the ring by Uncle Scott and beats Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser where they deliver stereo Steiner recliners to both of them.
At first, my gut instinct was like...
It's a no, right?
At first, because I was thinking, but Braun's stepping out from the legacy of his family and stuff. But then I remembered a crucial thing, which is that Braun Breaker does have the banter and could pull this off really well, I think.
He did a promo the other week on SmackDown aimed at Ludwig Kaiser that was so Scott Steiner.
Right.
And it was like, he needs to just go full Steiner.
I remember once showing my non-wrestling fan friend the Steiner Math promo.
Yeah.
And he'd seen like memes of it and he was like, what is this? And I was like, I'll show you the full thing. And then he paused it a few seconds in and went, does he shout all the time? And I went, yeah, that's very much his thing. He went, no, I'm on board. I understand.
Yeah.
And I think Braun Breaker he's got quieter, more menacing moments, but I think that if he was allowed to cut loose and just have a bit of fun like here, I think the crowd would really get on board with it.
If he has a triple threat, you can't not lean into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think there'll be not this, but like a little reference on the show
for sure.
in the pre-show? Or something?
If not, it'll be commentary being he's only got a 66 2/3 chance of winning.
Corey is a prime
for sure.
culprit for that. Yeah, it was a no, but then I decided, you know what? Let's stop being such a stiff.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have some fun and give it a yes.
Come on.
I really want to see that.
Yeah.
I need that to be a thing.
You know what? I actually was really worried that you would do that exact pitch. I feel like that is something you would do.
It does sound like something I would do. It is something that I want to happen.
That is Tom Campbell's bread and butter.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, that's not one of mine. But I'm glad that you did it. And I'm
Scott Steiner, what are you doing here?
I would have actually given you yes plus had he come out with a Bengal tiger as well.
He
loves a Bengal
He does
tiger.
like a tiger.
And then said WCW sucks.
He's riding a tiger.
Oh, okay. You've got me back on side. You've officially got me back on side. Right.
Tom, yes.
So it's a women's War Games one. Before the women's War Games match starts, Bianca Belair is taken out backstage. She's on top of a car. Not unlike Jade Cargill. It's another car kill.
Bars. Kendrick who?
Lin-Manuel in the house.
Who car killed Belair?
Just Fraser's idea of
Lin-Manuel, the ultimate rapper,
gangster.
He is.
So
10 Dual Commandments.
So it means that Bianca Belair's team, whilst they have the War Games advantage,
Yes.
is now another person down again. But don't worry, because stepping into the fray, verylastminute.com, with all hope seemingly lost, it's only Charlotte Flair. Oh, she's back, baby!
No, I'm quite happy.
It's not what-
Dun. Ric Flair music, but remixed. Here she comes. She gets into the ring and she picks up the win for her team.
Okay.
Hitting a big old move onto Nia Jax, putting her in the figure 8 as well, just getting her to breaking those big old legs. of Nia
Nia.
Jax.
She's the champion.
Yeah, she's submitted the champion.
Could this give her a claim to the belt?
Oh.
Well, it could potentially do so. It could potentially do so. Or what happens is, as Charlotte Flair is celebrating after winning the match for her team,
my.
Charlotte leaves the ring, celebrating with the baby faces, and the heels then sort of pick themselves up and leave, and then Tiffany Stratton just stops for a second. Tiffany stops for a second and stares down at the fallen Nia Jax and thinks, "Is this my opportunity?" She hands the briefcase to the referee. And Nia Jax is sort of starting to come to at this point. But Charlotte Flair hasn't finished leaving the ring yet. So she steps into the ring. And as she does, she boots Nia Jax in the face.
Okay.
Charlotte Flair takes down Nia Jax and says to Tiffany, "Do it. Do it."
Whoa.
Tiffany Stratton pins Nia Jax and becomes the women's champion on that night. And Tiffany and Charlotte form an alliance.
Okay.
From there on. She came in as a baby face. She's leaving as a heel. And it even turns out that we could maybe spin it so it was Charlotte Flair that was behind Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair being attacked and not Bianca Belair after all.
And I. Sorry, I didn't know if that was the end of the.
That's pretty much what I got.
and I like the. So Tiffany's gone from being this suspicious underling.
Yeah.
And now Charlotte is kind of in the Tiffany role now because can Tiffany trust Charlotte? And I really like that.
Yeah.
Not subversion, that development. I also like that Tiffany has maybe eventually down the road, because why else would Charlotte align with Tiffany other than to maybe put herself back in the title picture like Tiffany has done to Nia? I like that we're setting the seeds for somewhere down the line, Tiffany versus Charlotte. Because I'd like to think that WWE would recognize that we can make a star here. She should probably beat Charlotte, maybe.
Hopefully.
Not as soon as Charlotte's come back, but after a while, and Charlotte's got some wins of her own over people. So yeah, I think that's another lovely yes.
Oh,
Similarly,
thank you very much.
mostly for that one, I like the fact that Tiffany's cashing in. I'm just worried about putting her with Charlotte because I feel like that would... Tiffany, I feel, is on the cusp of like being so popular she has to turn face. With how a cashing in on Nia is going to get a big pop. Would that turn Charlotte face or would that turn Tiffy heel?
Charlotte be a heel, and I think initially Tiffy would be a heel, but I think the fact that I think she'll get babyface reactions regardless over Charlotte.
Yeah, I think people will know that Charlotte is always in the title picture. I think it'll be similar to the Tiffany Nia stuff now, but with Tiffany as the champion. And I think because it's Charlotte and we know that she's always winning belts and stuff. I think they would heighten it, and I'd quite enjoy it.
Okay, yeah, you've convinced me. I'll give it a yes because I would like to see almost the Toni Storm Mariah May sort of parallel between the pairing of them, but having Charlotte, the experienced one in the underling role, is quite a nice subversion of it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Double yeses. Let's go.
My next one's a bit cheeky one.
Cheeky
So
one.
it's one of the ones. It's one of those ones that like it's not a match on the show. I've put a segment on the show, but the major thing happens later.
Okay.
And I know that sometimes people are like, but it's not a pitch for survivors. It's hard when there's not many matches on the card.
It's tough.
And these people aren't on the card anyway, so I've forced them in. Kevin Owens hijacks the show midway through. He drags Michael Cole into the ring and hits him with a stunner because Cole is friends with Cody Rhodes and he wants to anger Cody even more. Sure enough, here comes Cody down the ramp, but Nick Aldis has a team of security ready to hold him back before he reaches the ring. Owens gets on the mic and says, Cody, I know we're already facing off for the WWE title at Saturday night's main event, but how about we raise the stakes? And I want to do this because I need to show that I'm running the show around here, not WWE with its corruption and its hypocrisy. They'll do anything to protect their golden boy, so how about I make this challenge to you face to face because I know you won't be able to resist accepting. If I win our match, you can never again challenge for the WWE Championship.
Oh, no.
It's a stipulation I think you're pretty familiar with. I hear you've done a similar one before and it didn't go very well. This isn't how Kevin Owens talks.
It didn't go very well, you little cheeky so-and-so.
If you win, I will leave the WWE forever. Owens throws down the mic and leaves. Fast forward to Saturday night's main event, and there have been some terrifying near falls, let me tell you, either way. Both men have kicked out of each other's finishes once already. Owens goes for another stunner. Cody catches the leg and spins him round, where Owens collides with the ref, who staggers facing the other way for a bit. With the ref unsighted, we get a blatant low blow. From Cody to Kevin.
Oh! Homelander cometh.
Owens slumps to his knees as the ref turns back around. Cody grabs him and hits the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody celebrates like he would under normal circumstances. He's smiling, he's fist pumping the air, he's thanking the crowd, but they aren't thanking him back. They are not happy with Cody Rhodes. They're booing as Cody leaves, a rigid smile plastered across his face, like Homelander from The Boys, who everyone compares him to, and he's kind of going. I've seen the meme. I don't really understand, but he thinks he's the hero.
Isn't that the bit where he's smiling?
Well, I don't know. Yeah,
He's just massacred a lot of people.
Well, Cody's massacred a lot of people's dreams as well. Well, he thinks they're cheering for him, but they're not.
Okay.
But he's pretending. Owens does his best Bret Hart 97 impression, trashing the ringside area, causing a ruckus. Triple H even comes out, and as Owens is dragged away by security and passes Triple H on the ramp, he says, "Oh, congratulations, Paul. You got what you wanted." That's the end of my notes. From there, we get... I mean, Owens can come back, I suppose.
Okay.
And I think the way I would do it is that Cody starts to become almost like a tyrant champion. He thinks he's doing the best for everyone. He's going, look, I've got rid of this scourge of WWE, Kevin Owens. Thanks, everyone. He's not quite Jericho. He's like, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
But he's saying, I've done what's best for this company. But as his title reign gets longer and longer, what he thinks is best for the company is kind of what's best for himself. And, without ever acknowledging that he's a heel. He thinks he's like... So eventually, someone in WWE, maybe Triple H, maybe Nick Aldis, someone has to go and find Kevin Owens and bring him back to end this tyrannical reign of Cody Rhodes.
Be a nice way to change the story around and have them switch roles by the end, but naturally.
Now you've said that, I'm trying to think of a new catchphrase instead of finish the story, like a heelish one. The story goes on or something. I don't know.
Story goes
Story
on.
continues. Yeah.
Story never ends.
This is my story.
Yeah.
My story.
I think this is a good way to get Kevin Owens on the card, because he should really... This match feels like one that should have been...
I get why they've saved it for the premiere of Saturday Night's main event,
but like when you've got a pay-per-view and you're building this match for what is quite a while, and then going, hey, it's not going to be on there. So yeah, having something on there with Owens works really well. And Saturday Night's main event, I think that could... If they do that stipulation, that is exactly how it should go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried that they'll just do loser leaves town, and that will get one of them to Raw. For Netflix.
Is there even a stipulation? Is it just a title match at the minute?
title.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think they
it's
might
a-
just do,
it's a
because it's Saturday Night's main event and it's old school. They'll just have Cody win, I think, in a good guy way.
Oh,
you
I
not
think
think?
Owens might win. I want him to win.
I've seen a
I want him to
few
win.
Actually,
hot takes online.
isn't that when Andre beat Hogan at Saturday Night's main event? There was the big
It
heel,
was,
the scene of a big heel win.
With the Hebner twin magic.
Yes. They can, you know what?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Owens get it. You can switch it back later. But
Because
yeah,
otherwise,
so
I think he's lost like every world title match he's had for the last year and a bit.
Yeah.
For like 8. When was the last time he was world champion? 2017.
And that's because
17.
Triple H gave him it. he pedigreed Rollins, didn't he? And went,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I love.
Have at it, and then he lost to Goldberg. So, yeah, so he can beat Cody. But I like this pitch. It was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think it's slowly twisting Cody, because many people have said Cody's a great top babyface for the company, but he's going to be an even better top company heel.
I'd like to think so.
If he doesn't change too much of who he is,
Yeah.
and just keeps that very much like I'm what's best for business, like I'm the golden child of the company, but doesn't say it outright, but just is. I think there's some magic to be had in him just doing what's best for business.
As much as we all love Cody, and several of us here at Cultaholic have had the privilege of actually meeting him, we know he's a great guy and stuff, but his character on TV is such a virtuous babyface that it's almost a bit uncanny. You're like, there's something behind the eyes there.
Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Skeletons in the closet.
But we love him so much that we know that that's a role that he could pull off magnificently.
I think he could do it, yeah, in kind of a like American Psycho kind of way.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good, yeah.
Nice one. Two yeses?
2 yeses.
All the yeses?
Right, let's keep this momentum going.
Oh.
Right, for my final pitch, I'm focusing on the men's bloodline match, the men's War Games bloodline match. This is the bloodline match. Throughout the night, we see the OG bloodline having discussions around trusting CM Punk. Roman is very hesitant, but acknowledges he trusts the wise man's judgment above all. Jay and Sammy are all in on Punk, while Jimmy is a bit half and half. He's unsure. He's kind of playing the Jay role when Sammy got involved like 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Was it really that long? Yeah. Anyway, in contrast, we see Solo speaking with the new bloodline, saying that they have a plan, and while they didn't expect to see Punk on Friday, it doesn't change a thing as the plan is still in motion. When it comes to the match, it's a standard War Games match. We start off with Jay going against Tonga Loa, who's then joined by Tama, and then Jimmy. So we get a mini Usos versus Guerrillas of Destiny match, which teases what I think will be a match we get at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we will get that. More names are added until the final two in the pods for each team are CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and then Solo and Jacob Fatu. Punk and Reigns are arguing over who should be heading to the ring. Reigns is being like, I'm in charge here, you go next. Punk is like, no, like, what? I'm not going. Like, I'm standing back. I've been told by the wise man that you're going in next. This is the wise man's plan. Whereas in contrast, again, Solo and Jacob, they're calm. Solo just shouting commands to the ring, stick to the plan. Paul Heyman stood by the cage, convinces Reigns to head to the ring next and let Punk be the last one to enter. He eventually concedes, heads to the ring where he meets Jacob Fatu, who just entered minutes before. He helps take everyone down within the OG bloodline, raising the ones for a quick photo opportunity because they've got to get that nice little framing in.
Obviously.
Solo is up next, and instead of entering the cage, he walks around it and surveys what's happened. He locks eyes with Reigns. He raises the one, and then Sami Zayn haluva kicks Roman Reigns.
Oh, he did the thing!
The new bloodline all attack the rest of the OG, Sammy included, leaving them lying as Bronson hits tsunami after tsunami on Reigns. Solo eventually gets in the ring and brings a table with him. He stacks Reigns, Jimmy, and Jay on the table while Bronson climbs to the top of the cage and hits a tsunami over through all three of them. At this point, Punk is enraged in the cage. He's walking to the ring. It's 1 against 6 as everyone else is left lying on the ground. He makes his way in. He manages to get the better of the Guerrillas of Destiny, but Jacob quickly takes him down while the OG bloodline struggles to make a comeback. They finally get a little bit of space to swing the momentum in their favor as the Usos team up to fight Sammy and Bronson, while Punk and Reigns try to fend off the other four. They manage to get rid of Guerrillas of Destiny, leaving it Solo and Jacob versus Punk and Reigns. Solo is met with a Superman punch and a spear, which takes him down and out of the match for now. At the same time, Punk lifts Jacob Fatu up and hits him with a GTS, but it has no effect, and Jacob is still standing. He hits a headbutt on Punk, a super kick, and then pop-up Samoan drop. Jacob looks at ringside, and Paul Heyman nods at him.
What's going on?
He picks him up again, and he does another pop-up Samoan drop on Punk. What? He then sets his eyes on Reigns and hits a moonsault on Reigns, and then gets the pin on Roman.
Okay.
The new bloodline has won with the help of Sami Zayn. Paul Heyman enters the ring, and instead of acknowledging Solo, he walks past Solo and acknowledges Jacob Fatu, leaving Solo both confused and furious. Meanwhile, Jey Uso is down but shouting at Sami, "How could you?" While Sami replies, "How could you?" and points at Reigns. The show ends with Jacob standing level with Solo as the new bloodline raises the ones, and Heyman looking adoringly at Jacob.
Oh my.
Whoa, so many moving parts.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
A lot going on in there.
I think it's a yes from me, actually.
Yes, get in.
Because I think it all makes... I like your loyalty to the character histories.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense that, I always thought that Sammy and Jay and everything was all a little bit too neatly forgiven.
Yeah.
I know Ross has said before a lot of the time that all Roman needs to do is kind of wink at someone and they go, "Oh, it's fine.
It's fine, it's Roman."
I'll be your pal again. So I like that it actually hasn't been all okay. And I like, this is what Heyman's done. He's always jumped to the next most powerful, he always thinks sinking ship. I'm going to move on. Yeah.
It's like a cockroach. He just keeps moving on.
So it's a yes from me.
Thank you.
I'm going to give it a yes as well. You've created 2 war game scenarios there with lots of moving
there's lots
parts.
of things happening in both. A lot of moonsaults in both.
A lot of moonsaults in both. A lot of tables destroyed in both. but friendships tested and tempered. And whilst again, it's similar, my other similar complaint, if you were, the first one is I think that the Paul Heyman aligning with Jacob and not Solo is a story in itself. And Sammy haluva kicking his way out of the OG bloodline is a story unto itself. I come from the radio world where they always say one link, one
Just
thought.
give one thing.
But they're both good things.
Yeah.
They're both good things. And it's a busy match.
Good on Saturday
They're
night.
good dogs, Brent. And I think there's a lot of things going on there. And I want to give it a yes as well.
Yeah. Get in.
Give it a
3
yes.
yeses.
It's a very yes.
I'm going to
heavy
boot
one.
camp.
My last one shouldn't. If either of you give my last one a yes, I'll be so sad. It's not a serial one.
Oh, that's
Okay.
not
Tom,
super
though,
serial.
what's
Okay,
your
my last one is on the men's War Games match as well. It's the OG Bloodline versus the New Bloodline. The match begins with 4 of each team in their respective cages, with Solo and Jey Uso in the ring to start. Solo grabs the mic and says, "Let's make this more interesting.
Oh,
Let's do 5 on 6.
what?
And out comes Hikaleo.
Oh.
Scrummy. Into the cage you go, Hikaleo. We'll call you in a bit. Okay, he's 5 on 6 in War Games. Well, this is new and scary. But then Paul Heyman suddenly chimes in with a mic. Let's make this interesting. 6 on 6.
Oh.
And with that out comes Rikishi.
Oh.
In the cage you go, Rikishi.
Imagine that.
Oh, no.
The babyface team are like,
Just
it's all right.
they're all piled into the
Rikishi
cages.
Hiya, Dad.
Yeah. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Match about to start when Solo goes, "Whoa! Let's make this more interesting."
Oh, this is Puerto Rico all over again.
6 on 7.
Okay.
And out comes Haku. Oh, in the cage you go, Haku.
Heel team are loving it.
Yeah.
Oh no, what we're going to do is 6 on 7.
no.
Wait a minute, here's Paul Heyman.
Oh,
I've got a feeling, but okay.
Let's make this interesting.
Yep.
7 on 7.
Who's this?
The Tonga Kid.
That is not what I thought.
In the cage you go.
Expecting?
I don't want to say in case,
case he comes up.
Because I don't
How
want
do you know
to.
there's going to be more?
I know. I don't want to suggest that there will be, but
Why do you assume there'll be more?
We'll see.
The match begins.
Oh.
But Solo stops. Wait a minute. Let's make this interesting. 8 on 7. And out comes Journey Far 2.
Okay.
Squeeze in there, lad. Get in. The cages are
case,
becoming
yeah.
a fire hazard at this point. Guys, handicap situation. Can we do anything about that? Here's Paul Heyman. Let's make this interesting. 8 on 10.
Oh,
3-minute warning. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get in that cage.
The spirit.
They're 6 feet from a comeback, but here we go. Get in that cage. For Solo Sikoa not to be outdone. Let's make this interesting. 10 on 10.
okay.
It's the Wild Samoans.
Oh, 10 on 10.
Okay.
In the cage you go.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Just suddenly,
Oh.
there is a ding on Paul Heyman's phone. And Paul looks down at his phone. It says, somebody has complained in the YouTube comment section that Tom's pitches are too meta.
We're getting postmodern now.
Wrestling isn't about fun, it's about serious discussion, not shaggy dog stories. I hate when Tom does 9 pitches. With all that, all the Bloodline members vanish, and I don't know, Punk turns on Roman Reigns or something. We suddenly cut to the Cultaholic Studios and the 9 Pitches podcast studio, where Tom looks knowingly at Fraser and Jack says, "It's a yes from me. I really like the way you subverted things at the very end there. It really made me chuckle. And and I do like the shaggy dog stories. We should have more of them, especially with Ross not here to bring the silliness like he would normally do, which people normally like, but they don't like when you do it, Tom. It's different.
God.
I personally think that it's good. So you should just a yes from me." And Fraser says, "Well, yes, Tom, it's also a yes from me. I appreciated your feedback about Bron Breakker riding a Bengal tiger to the ring, and also how some of the stories that I had maybe had too many elements, and I respect that, but I still think that your pitch was good fun, had by all. It's a yes from me." And with that, Jack signs off on the video, plugging the Survivor Series watch-along live
got my
reactions,
last pitch to
predictions,
do that.
and we say we'll see you soon, and you end the video, and we all go for a lunch break. And that's my final.
Have you had a stressful 2 weeks since you got married?
So I mentioned I got married. That's my pitch. What do you reckon?
In my study, when I used
you go first, Jack.
When I used to be an English literature student and that, postmodernism was a big
Big deal.
part of my big deal.
Big deal.
big part of my studies. And
Some would say it still is.
And I always thought, wow, sometimes it's genre defining. Sometimes it shifts the very fabric of what we think literature can achieve. And sometimes I think, oh, this author's just sort of doing it just to try and be clever. And in this case, Tom shifted the very fabric of what
Yeah.
It's a yes from me. Yes! I was going to try and remember word for word what he had me say, but it went on.
Well, it is a yes from me. Yes! I appreciated the feedback you gave me on the Braun Breaker thing with the Bengal Tiger, and how you subverted expectations at the end and took it to a Deadpool meta level.
Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that immensely.
Sorry, this isn't against you. Don't credit Deadpool with inventing fourth wall breaking.
Deadpool invented fourth wall breaking. Everyone knows that. I like the bit where he talks about DC. That's really funny. I do like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Let's
It's
all
brilliant.
pretend that Deadpool invented
Is this still part of the pitch?
No.
What is it though?
No, it's not. It's a hard reset now.
Jack said as he began his third and final pitch.
My third pitch. We think the event's over, but theme music from a bygone era hits the speakers. Oh, you didn't know? No. Your ass better call. It's not them. That's like saying Deadpool invented postmodernism. This is the Acclaim didn't invent. The Acclaim didn't invent.
Billy.
It's the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg,
Columbo.
and somehow jumping ship back from AEW. It's Billy Gunn. Don't ask questions. It's just happened. They head to the ring and get on the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all. But Road Dogg cuts off his usual spiel to say, actually, tonight we're not the New Age Outlaws. Once again, we are BG James and Kip James, the James Gang, because this is War James. I really channeled Tom Campbell when I was doing this.
Good.
Yes!
The final match of the night is an open multi-person invitational for anybody named James. And it's an epic war of Jamesian proportions.
This is great. I like it already.
The two former DX men start us off, and BG James looks to have the match won after somehow doing his crazy legs thing while hanging from the side of the War James structure like Spider-Man and dropping down to crush his tag partner. But who's this running in to join the bout? It's former NXT standout turned main roster superstar and business lady, Kiana James.
Nice.
She lays out the lads with her briefcase and is about to win the match when beer, money, it's James Storm who runs in. Last call super kicks to everybody. Surely he's about to win. Hardcore country. It's Mickey James, who I believe James Storm once murdered in TNA. So this is her revenge, and she hits the Mick kick to everyone. She seems like she's about to win, but then flaming pyro shoots from the entranceway, red lights bathing the arena. It's Father James Mitchell.
Nice.
Lord TNA.
Oh, hey, you got some TNA in there.
He gets in the ring all cackling and spooky. I've put here a mistyped cackling as cacking. He's cacking
himself.
It's all that snow dust that he did on that pay-per-view.
Oh, in the NWA.
Yeah.
He gets in the ring all cackling and spooky, and Mickey James looks at him, hard Mick kick to the head, and she wins the match and becomes the inaugural winner of War James. The following year's event sees an incredible number of superstars attempting to change their name via deed poll for one night only to try and win this prestigious event, including a very familiar man in a false mustache claiming not to be Shane McMahon, but James.
I thought you were going to say incredible man in a false mustache called Charlotte James.
And a 6'8" basketball player, LeBron. No, that's War James. That's my final.
For a silly pitch,
Yes.
it did the job.
No, don't give
It did the job because I wasn't here for your incredible yearly Rumble pitches.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't get to witness that one, and this was as close as I'll get to. And I like TNA,
Oh,
so having the Kip James gang, it's a
They're
win.
back. Yeah.
Voodoo Kin Mafia. Yeah, right.
VKM. Well,
Yeah.
not that one. But yeah.
I'm going to subvert the rating system.
Oh,
It's a James from me.
Ah,
how do we? Well, there's never any graphics anyway. I was gonna say, do we
It's a
just
James from
do
me.
we flash up like James Jenkins?
James
Triple
Jenkins.
jumps head. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Where was James Jenkins in the?
Yeah, James Jenkins
He should have been there. I
He's
thought
not
that was going to be the
wrestler.
pitch, the final.
James
Who's
Jenkins.
that walking
Who's
to the
James?
ring? It's Triple Jump presenter,
James
video
Jenkins.
editor James Jenkins.
Shout out to James Jenkins.
Shout out
to
James
Triple Jump.
Jenkins.
But it's not.
Could
He's
you have
not-
had Chef James Martin in there?
Maybe no. We're getting too silly.
adding
This
too
is
many
serious.
James.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I
Serious
forgot.
pitch.
It's too silly.
No, we could do James Drake.
James
Right,
Drake.
Yeah.
James Drake. There was a picture of him that went out with Alex Reynolds recently because they look so similar backstage at AEW. Yeah.
The band James.
Sit down. And on that, is the last of the pitches. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Fraser and Tom for joining me. And thank you for your wonderful pitches as well. Have you got any good pitch ideas? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. And as Tom mentioned during his mind-bending third pitch,
This might still be the third pitch.
this could still be. Will it ever end? There's so much coverage coming up for Survivor Series War Games this weekend. Predictions with Andrew and Adam. Pitches is this one.
Live reactions
at youtube.com/cultaholic/live. We've got What Happened Now coming out after. We've got all the things that you might imagine from us.
WTF moments on Patreon.
WTF moments on the Patreon as well. Yes, thank you for reminding me there. And yeah, it should be a good weekend. It should be lots of twists.
And it starts early.
Does it?
It's 11 p.m. start.
Oh, beautiful.
I know, right?
Get it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Early night.
Could be in bed in no time.
Have you got anything coming up you want to mention?
There'll be new worst shows at some point. And there's one on the channel right now, so go and check that one out.
Very good.
The new one soon.
Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review returns on Saturday. Otherwise, we'll just catch it up because I don't know whether I mentioned it. I got married recently.
You got married?
Yeah, I got married recently.
Wow.
Just got back from Disneyland Paris. So this is a bit, but normal business on the podcast feed will resume. The news podcasts are back up and running now as well.
Excellent
But Classic SmackDown review this Saturday with myself and Matthew Gregg. Look forward to that. Always have a lovely time.
Weirdest Episodes is up on the channel now, looking at a Survivor Series of the past, and it is a very weird one indeed. And it's approaching the end of the month, so I should mention that my matches of the month will be up probably in the first week of December because I think Survivor Series is on the last day of November.
Literally the last day.
So I'll need time to do that and incorporate.
What if they're
that
rubbish? Let's just hope they're rubbish so you don't have to do too much more work.
It's been a thin month.
Yeah, it's been slim.
There hasn't been that many shows.
Hey, Full Gear was good.
Hey, Full Gear was
13 to choose from.
Yeah. A lot of limb work. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been 9 Pitches. And remember the new catchphrase. Oh, I don't know if either of you know.
I've done it once. Do we point? Do we? No, it's just.
It's what we want to happen.
It's not that. Life's a pitch, and then you die.